You know that dream we've all had about having a personal AI assistant that can actually handle all the tedious stuff in our digital lives? Well, that dream is getting a whole lot closer to being real, and it's thanks to a brand new framework called ClawGUI. No, really, stop and think about that for a second. What if your phone could literally do your chores for you? Not just, setting reminders, but actually booking that doctor's appointment, ordering your groceries for the week, or figuring out how to reply to that impossible group chat, all by itself. So the tech that makes this all possible? It's called a GUI agent. These are AIs that can use any app on your phone pretty much exactly like a person would. They don't need some secret developer backdoor or special code. They just look at the screen, understand what's there, and know how to tap, swipe, and type to get things done. So let's just break that down. A GUI agent is an AI that operates your apps just by looking at the screen and using those basic human actions: tapping, swiping, typing. Now, the absolutely crucial part is that it works without needing special developer access or APIs. And what that means is it can potentially operate any piece of software on any device. This is the hero of our story today. Okay, so this technology is amazing. But, and you knew there was a but coming, right? For the last few years, this whole field has been kind of stuck. While different researchers have made really cool progress on individual pieces of this puzzle, when you try to actually put them all together, you start to see some major cracks in the system. So crack number one is what we'll call the training gap. The environments where these AIs are supposed to learn, well, they're mostly closed source, they're unstable, and they usually only work in simulators. This is a huge problem. It means researchers can't easily build on what others have done, and the AI isn't learning on the actual devices it'll have to use in the real world. Next up, we have the evaluation gap. And oh boy, this one's a mess. When you read different research papers, the results they report are all over the place. Why? Because everyone's using a slightly different setup, different screen sizes, different ways of asking the AI to do something. It's like a foot race where everyone brings their own totally different stopwatch. The numbers just don't mean anything when you compare them. And the third, and maybe the biggest crack, is the deployment gap. This is the real heartbreaker. Even when a research lab creates a genuinely brilliant AI agent, the road from that academic paper to the phone in your pocket is basically non-existent. The tech is amazing, but it almost never actually gets to us, the real users. You know, the paper itself puts it better than I ever could. It says, when one attempts to assemble these pieces into a working pipeline, the cracks between them become apparent. And that right there is the core problem, the bottleneck that's been holding everything back. So you've got these three huge cracks holding back an entire field of technology. How on earth do you fix them all? Well, that is exactly why ClawGUI was created. It's an open source framework designed from the ground up to be the unified solution to this whole mess. Now, ClawGUI isn't just another model or a single tool. Think of it more like a complete integrated toolkit. It takes those three broken pieces, training, evaluation, and deployment, and finally combines them into one coherent open source system that anybody can use and anybody can build on. It pulls this off with three core modules. You can think of it like this. ClawGUI-RL for training is like a world-class gym that works with both simulators and real equipment. Then you've got ClawGUI-RL for evaluation. That's like the official standardized Olympics, making sure every single competitor is measured fairly. And finally, ClawGUI-Agent is like a universal translator that lets that champion athlete actually go out and perform in the real world, on any device. Okay, that all sounds great in theory, right? It's a nice story. But the big question is, does this new all-in-one toolkit actually work? Let's take a look at the proof, because at the end of the day, the results are all that really matters. Okay, check this out, because this is fascinating. Researchers took a pretty standard AI agent and then trained it using the new ClawGUI system. And look at the result. The success rate jumped from 11.1% all the way up to 17.1%. Now here's the kicker. The base model is exactly the same. That entire 6-point jump in performance comes just from having a better training environment. And it gets even more impressive. You can think of parameters as sort of like the number of brain cells an AI has. And what this chart shows is that a smaller model with 2 billion brain cells, when it's properly trained with ClawGUI, actually does better than a monster 72 billion parameter model. This is huge. It proves that how you train an AI can be way more important than just making it bigger. But how? I mean, what's the secret sauce inside ClawGUI's training that makes it so much more effective? Well, the key is this idea called dense step-level rewards. The old way of doing things was to give an AI a 10-step task and only tell it good job or you failed at the very end. That's a really slow way to learn. With dense rewards, the AI gets a little bit of feedback on every single action. A little, yes, that was a good tap, or nope, that swipe was wrong. It helps it figure out what works and what doesn't way, way faster. And this isn't just some tiny little tweak. This smarter way of giving feedback leads directly to a 17.9% relative gain in performance. It just goes to show you that every single step really does count, and telling the AI that unlocks so much potential. But remember, ClawGUI wasn't just built to boost performance. That was only half the problem. It was also about fixing that total chaos in how we measure progress. It was about creating reliable, reproducible science that the whole community can trust. And this is the punchline. Using its standardized evaluation system, ClawGUI-Eval can take the results from other research papers and reproduce them with 95.8% accuracy. This is a game changer. It finally brings some much-needed reliability to the field so we can all be sure we're measuring actual progress, not just random differences in our setups. Okay, so the science is better, the models are stronger, the results are reliable. That's all great for the researchers. But what does any of this actually mean for you? For the personal assistant that might be on your phone one day? Well, this is where it all comes together, because ClawGUI-Agent is built for the real world. It runs on pretty much any device: Android, HarmonyOS, and yes, even iOS. You can talk to it and give it commands from the chat apps you're already using, like Slack or Discord. It's smart, too. It uses a hybrid of fast commands and visual control, and over time, its personalized memory helps it learn your specific habits and preferences. We're not talking about a concept here. We're talking about a unified system that is designed to work across the whole mobile ecosystem. It's the promise of a single assistant that works the same everywhere, no matter what kind of phone you have. So this all brings us to the final and maybe the most exciting question of all. Once you have a personal AI that truly knows your habits, your contacts, and your preferences, what is the very first, tedious, annoying task that you will delegate to it and never ever do yourself again?